special blessings tonight. How many people in the world get the blessings of Lord Nityananda on his appearance day? So you're all very special and very happy to be with you. So we'll chant some prayers. Namo Vishnuvadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityananda Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shinyavari Paschatideshatarine. So we're going to chant the Panchakatha mantra. I'll sing and you sing. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Prabhu Nityananda. Prabhu Nityananda. Shri Advaita. Shri Advaita. Gadadhar. Gadadhar. Shri Vasari. Shri Vasari. Gaur Bhakti Vrinda. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Rama Rama. Rama Rama. Hare Hare. Hare Hare. Nityananda. Nityananda. Jai Gaur-Nitai. Jai Gaur-Nitai. So thank you so much. Nanu Padmakshi, she gave a nice summarization of who is Lord Nityananda. He is Krishna's brother appearing in Lord Chaitanya's pastimes. And Lord Chaitanya is Krishna and Nityananda is Balarama, she explained. So we want to honor some different prayers from Chaitanya Charitamrita and a few other texts glorifying Lord Nityananda. One thing is that, as you probably know, Nitya means eternal, all the time. Ananda means bliss, spiritual happiness. So this personality, he's also personality of Godhead. He's also Lord Chaitanya, he's also Balaram. So he is always in eternal transcendental bliss. So this personality you want to associate with through the holy names, through hearing about him, doing service, because this is how you get the bliss, the happiness. Prabhupada would say, chant Hare Krishna and be happy. And sometimes the devotees would say, I'm chanting, but I'm not sure if I'm really that happy. So Lord Nityananda is the source of happiness. So we need to connect more with him so that we will get the happiness that we need when we're chanting the holy names. That happiness comes from the Lord himself. So we are not the source of that happiness. Sometimes when we're chanting, we're thinking, I'm trying so hard, and it's just not coming. So we're not really trying to connect to the source of the happiness. So in order to get the blessings of Krishna and Radharani and Lord Chaitanya, we have to get the blessings of Lord Nityananda. So this is a very special occasion for us because everyone is looking for that eternal happiness. And if we hear about Lord Nityananda and serve Lord Nityananda by serving the holy names, chanting Hare Krishna mantra, then we will make this special connection, and it may not happen overnight, but you just have to keep daily chanting and hearing, and then gradually, usually gradually, it comes more and more So, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, this is wonderful scripture about the glories of Lord Chaitanya and his associates. So, Krishnadas Kaviraj, who compiled this, is hoping that all his readers and all his hearers, like us, will be able to connect more with Lord Nityananda and his special gift that he has for all of us. So we'll chant some mantras. Vande Nantha Dutaishvaryam Sri Nityananda Mishparam Yasyechaya Tatsvarupam Agyenapi Nirupyate. Let me offer my obeisances to Lord Sri Nityananda, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose opulence is wonderful and unlimited. By his will, even a fool can understand his identity. So this is how we also describe Krishna, right? Unlimited, full in opulence, Bhagavan. He has all opulences in full. So we see that Lord Balaram, Lord Nityananda, Lakshman in Ram's pastimes, they're all the same person. Their personality of Godhead, and they have these opulences as the Lord. So especially Lord Nityananda, he's giving his whole pastime to us. In other words, whatever he's doing is meant for the souls, the conditioned souls, and the devotees to be able to engage in devotional service and get a real taste for it. Get that eternal Nitya Ananda, that bliss. So chanting these mantras will prepare us for that. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya, Jai Nityananda, Jai Vaita Chandra, Jai Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Would anyone like to chant? Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya, Jai Nityananda, Jai Vaita Chandra, Jai Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. All glories to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. All glories to Lord Nityananda, all glories to Advaita Acharya, and all glories to all the devotees of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is the fountainhead of all incarnations. Lord Balaram is his second body. So we can see that Krishna, Lord Chaitanya, fountainhead, he's avatari, the source of all the avatars, incarnations. So Lord Nityananda is not different than Balaram, he's the second body of the Lord. So they are together the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sometimes Prabhupada would say, Lord Balaram and Lord Krishna are the same. Just their complexion is different. But he said they are both the Supreme Personality of Godhead in different complexion. Okay? We have Krishna in blackish, bluish, blackish, monsoon cloud complexion, and Lord Balaram in whitish. So we have Lord Chaitanya, golden, and Lord Nityananda, kind of golden with a reddish hue. So they're one and the same, their personality of Godhead. These two are one and the same identity. They differ only in form. Lord Balaram is the first bodily expansion of Krishna, and he assists Lord Krishna's transcendental pastimes. So that's what Lord Nityananda does. He assists Lord Chaitanya in his pastimes. That original Lord Krishna appeared in Navadvip as Lord Chaitanya, and Balaram appeared with him as Lord Nityananda. May Sri Nityananda Ram be the object of my constant remembrance. Sankarshan, Sheshanaga, and the Vishnus who lie on the Karana ocean, Garbha ocean, and the ocean of milk are his plenary portions, and the portions of his plenary portions. So, from Krishna come all these portions, but we say Godhead is one in the sense that there's a variety of personalities, as we see from the Panchatattva mantra. Lord Chaitanya is Radha and Krishna combined. Lord Nityananda is Balaram. Advaita Acharya is Mahavishnu and Sadashiva. Gadadhar is Radharani, more or less in the little bit more submissive mood, like Rukmini, chief queen of Krishna, one of his wives in Dwarka. And Srivas is none other than Narada Muni, the cosmic spaceman. So you'll see that if you obtain these books, like this Chaitanya Charitamrita, you will expand your appreciation of Godhead. It will give you added realizations when you're chanting the holy names. In other words, when you're understanding these personalities to whom you're chanting, by hearing, reading these books, then it's more personal. Like if you're calling a person or praying to, some personality, if you have some understanding of who they are, then it's more of a personal and connected prayer or exchange with that person. So Krishnadas Kaviraj, who compiled all these verses, is helping us to do that. So if you're thinking, I need some more inspiration in my life, in my chanting, in my service, in everything. So here it is in this wonderful Chaitanya Charitamrita. So here's another beautiful verse. Shri Chaitanya say Krishna Nityananda Ram Nityananda Purnakari Chaitanya Raka. Lord Chaitanya is the same Lord Krishna, and Lord Nityananda is Lord Balaram. Lord Nityananda fulfills all of Lord Chaitanya's desires. The ocean of Lord Nityananda's glories is infinite and unfathomable. Only by his mercy can I touch even a drop of it. So, everybody got some drops today. Maybe you got some flower drops on your head. Or, the Maha Mantra was bouncing off your heart. So, take those drops, take those names and value them, because they're the greatest treasure for navigating out of the material existence. So here, Krishnadas Kaviraj, who is disciple of Lord Nityananda, who's compiled this, he writes, "Oh Lord Nityananda, I write of your mercy. Out of great exultation, please forgive me for my offenses." Lord Nityananda Prabhu had a servant named Sri Miniketana Ramdas, who was a reservoir of love. So in the house of the Lord, he had a servant, Sri Miniketana Ramdas. They would have Sankirtan day and night. Just imagine, like we have here, public kirtan, 3 times a week. There, day and night, they're going at it. And so this was wonderful. And so Mini Caitanya Ramdas, one servant of the Lord, he was there and invited to the kirtan. Absorbed in emotional love, he sat in my courtyard, and all the Vaishnavas bowed down at his feet. So he was so happy to be there in the kirtan, see the deities, have association. When someone saw the eyes of Mini Caitanya Ramdas, tears would automatically flow from his own eyes, for a constant shower of tears flowed from the eyes of Mini Caitanya Ramdas. So no ordinary person here. He's showing all the signs of devotional ecstasy, not to be a show-off, but just he couldn't contain himself. He's just so much in love. Whenever he shouted aloud the name Nityananda, the people around him were filled with great wonder and astonishment. Our respectable Brahmin named Sri Gunarnava Mishra was serving the deity. So here's a Brahmin in the house during the kirtan, serving the deities. When Mini Caitanya was seated in the yard, this Brahmin did not offer him respect. Seeing this, Sri Ramdas became angry and spoke. Here I find the second Romaharshan Sutta, who did not stand to show honor when he saw Lord Balaram. So this Mini Caitanya, he's a friend of Lord Nityananda, and he's like representing Lord Nityananda. He's very powerful. He doesn't want people to show him respect out of ego. He's wanting to offer any respect to the Lord. And if he sees that someone is disrespectful, he takes it as an offense against the Lord. So when he sees that this pujari who's doing the arti for the deities is not respecting him, he thinks he's not respecting Lord Nityananda. This is not good. After saying this, he danced and sang to his heart's content. But the Brahmin did not become angry, for he was serving Lord Krishna. So, at the end of the festival, Mini Caitanya Ramdas went away, offering his blessings to everyone. At that time, he had some controversy with my brother. My brother, this is Krishnadas Kaviraj, had firm faith in Lord Chaitanya, but only a dim glimmer of faith in Lord Nityananda. So this Brahmin brother, Krishnadas, he didn't have faith in Lord Nityananda or Lord Nityananda's associates, so this was noted. Knowing this, Sri Ramdas felt unhappy in his mind. I then rebuked my brother. These two brothers, I told him, meaning Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda, are like one body. They are identical manifestations. If you do not believe in Lord Nityananda, you will fall down. So if you know something like that, then even if just out of duty, you would probably offer respect, right, to Lord Nityananda or any of his associates, because you think, oh, I don't want to go to hell. You may not do it out of love, but at least you might do it, offer some respect. So understanding that these two personalities, Lord Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya, are identical, like one and the same, just in two different bodies, then if you don't understand that, then you're like blocked from entering into the Ananda bliss of the holy names and service. Wow. See, we're getting to enter into the bliss of darshan. How late is it go? What's too late? Too late? Okay, thank you. So here we see the bliss. But if we don't understand, as you see there, do you know who's who? As you're facing the altar, on your right is Lord Chaitanya, on your left is Lord Nityananda. So let's not make the same mistake that this Brahmin Pujari Gunarnava Mishra made. His mistake was he did not give respect to Lord Nityananda, right? He only gave respect to Lord Chaitanya. But they are two, really one, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this teaches us a very, very valuable lesson, that this spiritual life is so personal, and there's so many personalities that are non-different than Krishna or Krishna's immediate associates, and they're all so dear to Krishna. So we need to understand their position. It's just like in any situation in life. You know, if you enter into your classroom or with your colleagues, and you're not like observing etiquette, like you see the professor and you go, well, how you doing? And you know, how you doing? How you guys doing? And anyway, in some places it's fine, but like here. But in other places it would be considered like an offense, you know, let's have a little etiquette, or let's have a little appreciation here for these respectable personalities. And so this is not just like a false ego type etiquette. This is an etiquette that is going to promote your love from your soul. This is like no ordinary etiquette. This is like what your understanding about these personalities is, like food for your soul, to really appreciate Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, how they're like Godhead together. This is something to nourish you so that you can chant Hare Krishna with more devotion and do your service with more devotion, and be able to appreciate your own self beyond just the temporary body. That gives us a lot of illusions. So this is very, very important. It's not just a superficial thing. It's actually a type of loving ecstasy to appreciate personalities like this on the divine level. So this is another realm in itself. So this is something we should be eventually spiritually excited to experience. So this is why we go into these pastimes a little bit. So here he's kind of rebuking his brother. He says, if you have faith in one but disrespect the other, your logic is like the logic of accepting half a hen. Whoa, what does that mean? Like sometimes they say Prabhupada would tell the story about the hen. So maybe a farmer had some hens and he thought, it's really kind of expensive to feed them, but I get good profit from the eggs, which is not a good idea anyway, but we don't take eggs, but it's an example. So the farmer thinks, might as well chop the hen in half. You know, forget that mouth part that you have to feed, that's a little bit too expensive, and just, you know, go with the eggs. So it's like, what kind of logic is that? You know, you're like taking get rid of that half and take that half. There's no logic in it. So he's trying to point out that, look, brother, his brother, there's no logic in your not respecting Lord Nityananda, because they're like one body, like that hand. It's one body. I would suggest you don't ever hurt a hand. But so he's telling him you have to purify your consciousness here. So anyway, this is a lesson for us. And Krishnadas Kaviraj, he, as the compiler of Chaitanya Charitamrita, he has wonderful, wonderful realizations. When he was compiling Chaitanya Charitamrita, he was in his 90s, he was almost blind practically. He was trembling, and yet the devotees wanted him to compile Chaitanya Charitamrita. So the Lord gave him the divine blessings. Can you imagine if you were that age? You know, maybe you had Parkinson's disease or, tremors, and you were the one chosen to do such a task. It would only be possible by divine empowerment. So that is what happened to Krishnadas Kaviraj. So it's very interesting to think about Lord Nityananda. He's the brother of Lord Chaitanya. Now in Ram's pastime, he's Lakshman, right? So Lakshman, he's younger brother. And sometimes he gets fiery and angry, transcendental anger, because he wants to serve his brother Ram as best as possible. But sometimes Ram, being the older brother, he says, no, Lakshman, we're going to do it this way. So Lakshman is thinking, I wish I could, be older brother sometime. So, okay, all you have to do is, on a divine level, have a devotional service-oriented desire, and guess what happens? So then he comes as Balaram in Krishna's pastime, and he's the older brother. And as Balaram gets pretty angry too, transcendental anger, and he's trying to serve his brother Krishna and serve the whole family, the Yadavas and everybody. So sometimes he gets angry in that service. Ooh. But then when he comes again as older brother, as Nityananda. But guess what? He doesn't get angry. He's Nityananda. He's always blissful. Even when he gets hit in the head with a pot from those rogues, Jagai and Madai, and he manifests a transcendental injury, he doesn't get angry. He's just compassionate. So this is the special feature of Lord Nityananda. He is so compassionately soft at heart, yet he's strong too. He, as a child, he would enact dramas with his friends. It's said that the potency, the Yogamaya potency of the Lord would cover over all the people in Ekachakra where he was born or appeared. And they didn't know who is this Nityananda? They thought he's just our friend. And they were doing all kinds of dramas. They were enacting all of Krishna's dramas and Ram's dramas. And all the parents, nobody really knew who was Nityananda, because this Yogamaya potency was covering them. They go, oh, how cute. Look at what they're doing. How do they know all about these pastimes? How do they know all about Krishna's and Ram's pastimes? They're just little kids. So in the Ram pastime, there's the situation where Lakshman is hit with a weapon by Ravana, and Lakshman seems to be unconscious or maybe even dead. And so in the drama, Lord Nityananda is enacting the part of Lakshman. So one of the boys throws a flower at him as if, he's being hit by the weapon. So the flower hits Nityananda, and he seems to be lifeless, and all the boys are scared and emotional, and then the parents come running. There's no apparent life in Nityananda's body. This little boy, this sweet boy, he's like the love of their village, just like Krishna is the love of Vrindavan. And so they're so upset. And then the boys in the play, they think, in the drama, oh yeah, he said that the boy who plays Hanuman is supposed to go to the Gandhamadan mountain and get those herbs to cure Lakshman. So who's the boy who's playing Hanuman? So he comes forward. Go to the hills and get that medicine. So the boy, in the play, he comes back with the so-called medicine, and he places it on Nityananda, and immediately he wakes up. Because he was actually in the pastime. Nityananda was actually Lakshman. He was experiencing the whole pastime. And the boy who was Hanuman to him was Hanuman, and cured him of this weapon that Ravana had released upon him. So this is how Nityananda spent his childhood, entertaining everybody, and nobody's seeing who he really is. Nobody's really understanding, but they're all sweetly engaged in the pastimes of the Lord. So we may not fully understand Lord Nityananda. It's not possible to fully understand the Lord completely, but we can understand the beauty of his pastimes and the beauty of his form. They just love this child, Nitai. He was so beautiful. So we have to chant the holy names, and more this beauty and opulence and loving compassion and feeling from our own heart for their lordships will manifest more and more and more. Just like in these plays, these dramas that Nitai and the boys would perform. So in this way, we have a great treasure, and we should always value Lord Nityananda. And Prabhupada would say sometimes that if we don't chant the name of Nityananda, it's like we've been dead. No life. So we have to chant Nityananda. So thank you so much, and all glories to Gaur Nitai. Hare Krishna.